Hi, hello. It's 9 a.m. on a Friday, and today I'm going to be reacting to Titanic Rising by Weyes. As always, the uncut reaction will be on Patreon, so go join that if you want. Now, I do know that this is kind of in the art pop genre, maybe. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. I have heard the first track. I don't know why I listened to the first track, but I did. And then I realized that I want to save it for a video. So yeah, I have heard the first track, but we're going to listen to it anyways. Nice piano chords. I love this song. It's so good. Subtle organ in the back. It's so lush. This part. So cinematic. Wow. Yeah, very cinematic track. Very theatrical. Kind of gives me like Spelling, the Turning Wheel vibes. I really like her voice. I like the instrumentation. The production is super grand and maximalist. And like I said, cinematic. It feels, I don't know what the lyrics are about, but it feels like it's telling some sort of story. Yeah, it's amazing. I don't really have much else to say about it. I'm just excited to see where the rest of these tracks go. Another fantastic track. Again, theatrical, cinematic. The instrumentation is just so lush. I'm just loving the sound of this and the production and the mixing. It's super, super, super cinematic. It's super transportative. Yeah, another amazing track. I don't think I like it as much as the first track, but it's not as catchy as the first track, I guess, but I liked the little addition of the cool little groovy guitar on top of there. And then overall, just the instrumentation was great. And I'm really, really enjoying her as a vocalist too. I'm not catching many lyrics, but I kind of just want to soak in the sound on this first listen. And I am loving the sound. The production's great. So yeah, let's keep going.
Wake up, baby, it's getting late now.
Okay. Got like an old school feel to this.
It's true, it's true.
It's so bright. That guitar. This instrumentation is sick. Yes. It's so fun. That bass line too. The drums. Ooh. Great. Wow. Beautiful synth stuff. Just that was a super fun track. Instrumentation was so lively. There was so much just life in that track and just so bright and fun and vivid and colorful. Definitely the most upbeat track so far. Love the drums, love the bass line, love the group vocals that came in, and then that cool little synthy, spacey outro there. Overall, just a really well-rounded track, complete like experience, really fun and really enjoyable. So I'm loving this album so far. 3 tracks in, not a single miss yet. The instrumentation is just perfect. Like. Okay. Kind of like a western feel to this one. All right, probably my least favorite song so far. It was still pretty excellent, but it just wasn't as impactful as the first three. I did like that kind of wall of sound at the end there, but I don't really have a reason for it being my least favorite other than the fact that it was just less impactful. So that just shows how good this album's been so far. But other than that, like still a pretty solid track. So yeah, pretty solid. Probably my least favorite, but I mean it's kind of hard to live up to those first three. So ooh, I like this. This has potential. All right, I'm just gonna close my eyes. We got some like ambient. Holy shit. Okay. Spacey little ambient interlude, I guess. I'm gonna let it go into the next track. Okay, we're continuing with this synthy feel. That's such a great. Oh, it sounds so good. It's like muddled. Is that even a word? I don't know. Sounds like it's underwater, kind of like the cover. It feels like we're rising, like the cover. It's beautiful. Ooh. This is a masterpiece. I don't even know what I could say to do that justice. Like, the synths, the second half with the strings, that transition between the synths to the strings was seamless, like perfect transition. It felt like we were rising through. That felt like the cover. That track felt like the cover so much. So grand and just transportative. That's like the perfect word for this album is just transportative. Transportative and cinematic. I have no idea what the lyrics are about, but at this point, I don't even really care because it just sounds amazing. Just sounds so pristine.
For all the pain and the things you've been through. We play hard.
Drums are so soft. Love it.
And I see it all clear.
This is sick. We're building. I love that little melody. Wow. I mean, there's another great track. There's not been a single bad track on this album. Probably not one of my favorites, but still pretty freaking solid. Like, my favorite part about that track was definitely the drums and how quietly they were mixed. Like, if those were, I don't know, they just felt perfect. They fit the track perfectly, and I just loved the mixing on the drums. Super unique, I feel like. And there was a couple of vocal melodies in there that I really enjoyed. Not one of the more memorable, in my opinion. It's kind of hard to top the track that came before it, but still very solid. Let's keep going. 3 more tracks. Interesting. We haven't had much acoustic guitar on this album, I feel like. I just realized what her voice reminded me of. She kind of has like a Joni Mitchell almost kind of tone to her voice. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because I do like Joni Mitchell. So definitely a Joni Mitchell vibes. I love the use of organ in this album too. Organ does such a good job of just elevating a track, taking it to this next level. They've done such a good job of that in this album. I like that bum 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 bum. Still have that weird synth. Ooh. Okay. Back to the acoustic. It's a really well structured song. I love all the strange little synth stuff that's going on. Crazy track. Definitely one of my favorites. I loved overall just the song structure of it and how it flowed and the points it built to, and then how I don't even know, man. It was just like, overall just felt like a really complete experience and journey with that track. Yeah, I love the acoustic guitar in there. Overall, the instrumentation was perfect. Yeah, I just love the peaks and the valleys and how it did this, like, I don't know. The song structure was great. Super satisfying song in the way that it built up to points and then fell down, I guess. I don't know what a better term for that is. Just an amazing track. Definitely one of my favorites. We have 2 more tracks here. I'm hoping for a strong, impactful, powerful ending. So we'll see. I'm loving the organ. The organ is such a beautiful instrument. And the strings in this album too, amazing.
Waiting for the call.
Holy.
Pictures better.
That vocal layering. Okay, definitely one of the more, like, I feel like one of the more stripped back on this album. I mean, it had its moments with a bunch of layers, but for the most part, it was just like an acoustic guitar, some organ, really no drums in that track at all. This feels like this could be something in like the 60s. You know, it feels very old school at times, and it comes mostly down to her singing style. I feel like she kind of just has a very old school sounding voice, but even the instrumentation at points too feels very, very old school. But it also kind of has this modern flair on it with the production and just the maximalist kind of lush instrumentation. That was super good. Really liked it. Very emotional track. And I'm hoping for a solid ending here, because this album started off great. So let's see. Hopefully we get a banger. Hopefully we get a hard hitting ender right here. I mean, the cello is the best instrument. Wait. Oh, I guess it's okay. I like this though. This is the best melody on the album. It's so beautiful. There you go. That was a Weyes blood. Let me know how to say it down below. Titanic Rising. A nice kind of reprise, however you say, reprise. I always say that word wrong. Obviously the same melody as the first track, just with a string version of it. I actually really enjoyed that last little instrumental thing, because that is probably my favorite melody on the album, is the one that's in the first track, and just having a string version of that is nice. I'm definitely going to listen to that again. Solid album. There were some moments that were a little bit not as impactful as they could have been. Some moments where I feel like the instrumentation was a bit too lush and too reverby. But for the most part, I enjoyed the kind of cinematic, theatrical style of this. I just loved the instrumental palette, and just the instrumental palette of this album with the organs, the strings throughout. The use of strings was great. A couple of additions of some acoustic guitar in there. And I really enjoy her singing voice too. Like, it definitely has this old school, like I said, almost like a Joni Mitchell kind of. She has like a similar timbre and tone to Joni Mitchell. Some great melodies in here. I gotta look into the lyrics more, because it's definitely, I can tell, a big part of this album. So I will look at those more after this video. But for what it is instrumentally and musically, it's amazing. The first track is probably still my favorite, if I gotta be honest. Yeah, I just think that melody is just super catchy and memorable, and just that track in general has a certain feeling to it that very few tracks ever really have. So yeah, definitely a solid album. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this album down below. Let me know if there's any other albums by this artist that I should check out. Yeah, leave some album suggestions down below of what you guys want me to listen to. And yeah, that's gonna do it. Titanic Rising, Weyes blood. It's a good album. It's a gooder.